Hello everyone, welcome to Imprint IS, and today we'll be looking into a couple of questions from geography paper, and these are the last two that are supposed to be discussed. So let's start with those, right? The question was defining blue revolution, right? And you have to talk about the problems and the strategies for pisciculture development in India, right? So just to have an idea why this question was asked, so maybe this image can give you a hint, right? So there's a fourfold way to grow, right? And there's a focus of the government to double farmers' income. So what do you do to the coastal areas, right? Because you can maybe look into second green revolution, which focuses on pulses, white revolution or cattle, saffron for solar, right? But blue revolution for fishermen welfare, cleaning seas and rivers and conserving water. That's the focus. So that is what Mr. Prime Minister Modi has thought about, right? So let's start the answer. So Blue Revolution, the Neel Kranti mission, has the vision to achieve economic prosperity of the country and the fishermen and the fish farmers, as well as contribute to the food and nutritional security through full potential and utilization of water resources for fishery development in a sustainable manner, keeping in view the biosecurity and environmental concerns. So, okay, maybe this is a little more complicated. So, in simpler terms, it refers to the integrated management and development of fisheries. That is what Blue Revolution basically focuses on. In a broader sense, it looks into the infrastructure development and creation of livelihood for communities who live along the coasts of India. And this is an umbrella scheme, right? And that's the idea. Now let's look at the problems which fisheries, in India face. Right, so there are various problems. Right, the first is obviously the per capita income. If you think about it, in India, the production of fishes is just 2 tons in comparison to 172 or 72 in Chile or in 6 tons in China. So the per fisherman, the amount of fish that he basically gets from the sea is pretty low, right? There's lack of reliable database also on what resources, where aquatic resources are. There's limited number of species which are cultured, right? So weak linkages between research and development and farming community. Most of the fish farmers collect fish seeds from private traders and not from the government fish farms. The poor quality of fish seeds implies low rate of growth of fishes, and sometimes they also have infectious diseases, right? Fish is a perishable community. The storage of fish is a huge problem to farmers. There's a lack of sufficient ice needed for preservation of farmers, and they have, farmers normally are, in India, are forced to sell their products at low prices. The others are obviously improper fishing, which is done in various parts. Kaleru Lake is one example, right? Then we have lack of technological and equipment, right? India's fleet basically consists of non-motor boats, and as we already talked about, the cold storage, right? Climate change is another problem that fishermen in India are facing. And then we even have international issues, right? With Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Bangladesh. So there are other points which you can really think about. Right, pollution definitely due to pesticides is another problem. Right, agriculture, leads to pesticides seeping into ponds. Right, finance obviously, right, which retards pisciculture. Right, there's not enough priority sector funding which goes to pisciculture. There's a weak marketing and extension network. Indian fishes are hardly branded that well. Right, we hardly export that much. On the other hand, there's a decline, obviously, due to exploitation of the coastal fisheries. There's water pollution, there's unscientific management. So we can basically talk about a lot of things in which India is suffering in pisciculture. So what are the strategies that maybe you can think of? So the reason why this question was asked is because of this. So the strategy, the restructured central scheme on blue revolution, right? And this is integrated development and management of fishes. It has been approved by the government, and blue revolution is being implemented to achieve the economic prosperity of the fishermen and fish farmers to contribute towards the food as well as the nutritional security. So basically, fish can act as a source of protein, right? The idea is to enhance fish production from 107.95 lakh tons to about 150 lakh tons in the next 5 years. And there's also a detailed fisheries action plan 2020 for the next 5 years to basically enhance the fish production and to achieve the concept of blue revolution in India, right? So obviously they're doing a lot. The central scheme obviously is basically have these 6 components. There's a National Fishery Development Board, right, and it will basically focus on the development of various facets of this. Development of inland fisheries and aquaculture. Then there's development of marine fisheries and infrastructure and post-harvest operations, right? Tackling the problem we already talked about. Strengthening of database. There's a GIS information system, right, of the fisheries sector, right? Then the institutional arrangement of fisheries sector. Then monitoring, control, and surveillance, and other need-based mechanisms which can also help. And then there's also going to be a national scheme for welfare of fishermen. So all in all, this would really help. And fishermen will also be given a financial assistance for 1.3 lakh to construct their houses. There are other things that also have been done. So this was about this question, right? Let's go to the next one. Okay, so the next question is again a very, very important one. And the question was, mention the core strategies for the transformation of aspirational districts in India and explain the nature of convergence, collaboration, and competition for its success. And this was for 15 marks, right? And again, this is from current affairs. There are a lot of articles. If you go to PIB, there's an article on 29 June. Niti Aayog releases the first Delta ranking of aspirational districts. There is another one. Niti Aayog identifies 117 districts as aspirational district for RUSA scheme. Then again, baseline ranking, this is on 28th March. Then there's obviously a statement of intent between Lupin Foundation and Niti Aayog to collaborate in the aspirational district program again. So there are a lot of, if you've gone through PIB, I think this is something that you should have gone through, right? This is the PDF, front page in case you go through. If you just type Google and you look at the Ministry Niti Aayog's document, so this is the right. And here's Mr. Prime Minister Modi, and on 5th January 2018, he talks about that we are living in an era of immense possibilities, which in turn creates opportunities. And we need to identify existing aspirational districts and channelize them to create a ripple effect for transforming aspirational district. And the development of every village of these 115 districts is vital to our commitment to social justice. Now, obviously, he mentioned 115. Actually, they added another 2, so it became 117. Now, you can use this code in case you're starting the answer. I think this would really impress anyone who has who's reading your answer. Maybe you might feel that maybe it's too long, but you should always quote Prime Minister Modi in any answer if you can, right? Then obviously, how would you like to go through it? So the government is committed to raising. The other method of starting the answer would be using the Sabka Saath Sabka Vikas standard code, right? That we want to raise the standards of citizens, ensuring inclusive growth, right? And how are they going to look into? We're looking at the basic core areas, that is health and nutrition, right? So that's one. Then we have education, the second. Agriculture and water resources, that's third. Financial inclusion and skill development. So these are the 5 areas, and basically we're looking into in basic infrastructure, right? Will be the core areas. And after several of the negotiations, 49 key performance indicators have been chosen to basically measure the performance of each of these districts. And districts are prodded, encouraged to basically catch up with the best districts in the state. There's an example of that in case you get time, right? Asifabad district of Telangana was ranked 100 in the baseline ranking in March. By June, it basically improved and now is at 15th rank. The whole district again improved 19.8 points to rank first in the Delta ranking. Initially, it was ranked 17. And this is the PIB document we have from 29 June 2018, right? So again, very important. Let's start the answer in a different way as well. So transformation of aspirational districts aims to expeditiously improve the socio-economic status of 117 districts across 28 states. Primarily by the states, the focus is on the strengths of each district And the idea is to prioritize the attainable outcomes for immediate improvement. So the idea is that let's look at what we can really improve quickly, and we're going to look into that. How the core strategy, what is that? The state should be the main driver. The work should be on the strength of each district. Make development as a mass movement in these districts. Identify low-hanging fruit, and the strength of each district to act as a catalyst. Measure progress and rank districts to spur a sense of competition. And the district shall aspire to become the best in the world. Best maybe in the world, maybe for the time being, let's say best in India at least. The idea, if you think about the core strategy, is to make it a mass movement along with the 3 C's that we're going to talk, right? The 3 C's are convergence, collaboration, and competition, right? There's convergence between the state and the center schemes, right? There's a huge problem. Normally you have, states also doing the same thing as the center. Collaboration, right, among the citizens and the functionaries, including the district teams. Competition, driven by a mass movement. The idea is also of something called the champions of change. There's going to be evidence-based decision making and partnership with expert organization, which is the Lupin organization, the Melinda Gates organization, right? That's the basic idea behind this. Okay, so you can also talk about the fact that India's HDI is really low, and the disparities in education and health parameters are across the country. And the idea is that let's choose these districts and improve them in the five focus areas: health, nutrition, agriculture, water resources, financial inclusion, etc. So now finally, you should end the answer because you've talked about a lot of these things. Niti Aayog, basically, if you think about it, has devised a very nice program for the development of India, and it is a bottom-up approach, moving from districts, to states to the country. So it's bottom-up. So that's a very good way of talking about this program. The idea being creating a ranking system is the spirit of competition motivates people to perform better, at least at the initial stage. So the ranking would really help to improve. And Dahod is an example, right? And Asifabad as well, which we talked about. The champions of change concept again is very interesting, that people from all walks of life who have worked against all odds would be given core positions and would become champions of change. So that's again very interesting, right? Niti Aayog partnership with the ITC Social Investment Program, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is another very interesting thing, which maybe in the previous governments never used to occur. So all in all, a wonderful idea, and I would say that this is something that definitely should be implemented in not just the 117 districts, but all of the districts of India, more than 600 of them, right? So thank you so much. Please write this answer, right, and email it to us if you get time, right? We will give you your review, right? If you liked this video, please like and comment, right? If you don't like, right, do comment on this. Thank you so much, right?